on our cover. So you're going to need two 12 by 12 pieces that are 65-pound weight and two that are 5 by 7 3/4, and they're also the 65-pound weight. And then you're going to need, for your chipboard, you're going to need one that measures 6.5 by 8. You're going to need two that measure 3 1/4 by 8, and you're going to need two that measure 2 1/4 by 8. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started here on attaching our two pieces of black cardstock together. So this is again the 65-pound weight, and I've already attached some score tape down here, down one of the sides of my 12 by 12 cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and then I'm just going to attach these two together right here, just like so, and then just give it a good burnish down. Just going to grab my foam folder here and give that a good burnish. Alright, so now this is how it's going to go. We're going to take the largest piece of our chipboard, the one that's 6.5 by 8, and we're going to attach it so there's about 1 inch between the top of the chipboard and the top of our paper. So don't worry about this, we're probably going to cut some of that off. And then you're going to want to put your actual spine pieces, so this will be the actual depth of your book. You're going to want to put those next to this large piece here, like so. And then your pieces that are going to be the front of our book, the ones that measure 8 by 3 1/4, they're going to get attached next to these pieces here, okay? And we're just going to glue them all down, leaving about 1/8 of an inch to 1/16 of an inch between the chipboard and the next piece of chipboard, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to slide these ones away. And I've got my Fabri-Tac glue here. And I'm just going to start by just putting glue all over the back of it. Doesn't have to be a ton of glue because it is getting completely wrapped. Just enough to hold it there. Alright, and we're going to just put it down again, leaving about 1 inch between the top of the chipboard and the top of the paper. Then you can give that a good press down. And now I'm just going to continue on and attach my other 4 pieces the same way, making sure to leave that 1/8 of an inch gap between my chipboard pieces. So about that much, okay? Alright, so I'm going to just attach the rest. Right, so I've gone ahead and attached all my pieces, and then I also cut the excess off on both sides and on the bottom, so that I'm leaving about 1 inch all the way around of my black cardstock. So now I'm just going to go ahead and slowly start folding my cardstock over my chipboard, just like so. So it's all nice and folded in. I folded it all in all the way around. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach my score tape, and I'm going to attach it along all 4 sides of my chipboard and along all 4 sides of my cardstock. so all of our tape is attached. So now I'm just gonna go through and burnish it all down really well with my bone folder. That way we make sure to get great adhesion to our chipboard and to our paper. So now we're going to just go ahead and cut these corners out here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut up from here and then in from here, and I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch to 1/16 of an inch from the edge of my chipboard to where my paper begins, so that we're covering our corners properly. So just pretty much right across where those two sections meet. So that when we fold it in, that our little corners are nicely covered, just like that. Alright, so I've gone ahead and cut out all those corners. So now we're going to start by removing the backing from one of our long sides of the chipboard and one of our long sides of the cardstock. And we're just going to fold it over nicely, starting in the middle. It should just go down right where we want it to, because we have already pre-folded and pre-trained our paper, and just give it a good burnish down. Alright, so we've got all of our sides attached down. So now we can just go along with our bone folder and just really press in that adhesive. Alright, and now we're going to take the flat edge of the bone folder here, so this edge here, and we're going to go ahead and just go into those little grooves that we left with the bone folder, just so that the paper fibers break down a little bit and it folds in easier for us. Alright, so start over here, bend that side, bring it up, and then this side, and then there we go. There we have our cute little gatefold album. Really, really sweet. Alright, so now let's go ahead and attach our little spine hider pieces in here. So remember, they are 5 by 7 3/4, and they're just going to go there and there. And we're going to attach them, leaving about 1/8 of an inch from top and bottom. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is attach some double-sided tape to either side of our little groove here, just like so. And remember not to go all the way up or down, because then your adhesive is going to be showing once you attach your spine hider piece. And all through the middle here. And then for our spine hider piece, we're going to go ahead and attach a piece of tape, of our double-sided tape, all around all 4 sides of our piece of paper here. Just like so, and then we can go ahead and burnish all of our tape down. Alright, so now that we have all the backings removed, we can go ahead and attach this piece, and we're going to center it left to right and top and bottom. So make sure it's where you want it before you place it down, because it is not coming up. Alright, it's where I want it, so now I'm just going to burnish here. Make sure you get it really nice and burnished down. All the way around. And then we're just going to slowly go over our score or our little grooves we have under there. Just like so, just so we can find them. And then just slowly bend it up, just like so. Okay, so now our spine is hidden in here, and we're just going to repeat the same step over here. So let's work on the little box that goes inside the book. So you're going to need 2 pieces of the medium weight chipboard that measures 4 by 6 1/4. You're going to need 2 that measure 1 3/4 by 4, and you're going to need 1 that measures 6 1/4 by 1 3/4. Okay, and then for your cardstock, this will be the 65-pound weight. You're going to need 2 that measures 6 by 8 1/4. You're going to need 2 that measures 6 by 3 3/4. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is glue these pieces of chipboard, so like these 2, into the center of our cardstock here. So I've got my glue ready. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue them in here. Like so. So we'll first put this one in the center of this piece here. Give it a good burnish down, and then we'll do the same thing with this smaller piece here. And it's going to glue in the center of this piece, of the smaller piece of cardstock. Alright, so now what we need to do, we'll let that one dry for another second. Just close my glue. And for this one, we need to just go ahead and fold in all of our sides, because we're just going to kind of wrap this piece of chipboard, just like so. Alright, and now you're going to want to attach tape to, you can attach it to all 4 sides for now. Like so. All the way around. And final one over here. And then we're going to cut out the corners just like we did on our album. So just leaving about just a tiny bit of space so that our corners fold up nicely. Alright, so now we've got all the corners cut out. So now we are going to wrap in 2 of the short sides and 1 of the long sides, and we're going to leave 1 long side not glued. So start with 1 long side, remove the backing, fold it in, give it a good press down. Grab my bone folder. Alright, and then the same thing over here, just remove the backing, fold it in. Same thing over here. Just like so, and then we're not going to fold this side in right now, but what we can do is attach 1 more piece of the tape here. Alright, perfect. Give that a good burnish. Alright, and then we're going to repeat the same process with this piece here. We're going to go ahead and fold it in. Just like so. And then we can go ahead and attach the tape, and then I'm just going to trim out the corners the same way I did the other piece. So I've trimmed out all the corners, but this one is going to differ slightly from the other piece that we just did, because we're only going to wrap down 1 side of the tape here, because the other ones are going to be hinges to attach the box together. Alright, so you can go ahead and give that a good burnish down as well. Alright, so we've created 2 together, this piece and this piece, and you're going to need to create another one of these and another one of these. So you have 2 of each of these pieces, and then 1 of, that's going to be the bottom of our box that measures 6 1/4 by 1 3/4. So this is going to get attached here like this, and this will also get attached under here like this, and then these 2 will get attached to the sides here. And then these pieces will be what attaches it together on the sides, okay? So let's start first by attaching these pieces here. So we're going to go ahead and remove the backing from this bottom hinge here. We're going to go ahead and get our piece and make sure we're lining it up really nicely, leaving that gap, and then we can press that down. Grab my bone folder, give it a good press down, and then same thing over here. Just go ahead and remove that backing. And then we will just do the same thing, just leave a bit of a gap. On both sides. Alright, give that a good press down. Alright, and then the same thing we're going to do with these smaller pieces that are the sides of our box. Just remove the backing. Just place it under, and again leave a little bit of a gap there. Give that a good press down, and then we'll do the same thing with this side over here. Like so. Again, just leaving that 1/8 of an inch gap. Ignore this tape in here, that's an oopsie. You're not going to do that. Alright, so before we close it up, I'm going to go out, grab my black masking tape, and I'm going to cover all of these little grooves here. So I'm going to go ahead and start over here and just work my way across. And then just trim it off. And we'll just do that on all of those little grooves. Alright, so now we've got all of our black masking tape to cover those grooves. So now we can go ahead and start attaching our box together. So we're just going to go ahead and remove the backing from one of our little hinges here. Then we're going to bring it up. Hopefully I can show you this in the best way possible. And just meet those two edges there, just like that. And then we're going to close it down and go inside and give it a good burnish down, just like so. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Go ahead, remove the backings of your tape, bring up this side, line it up as best as you can, and just kind of press in at the top, lay it down and give it a nice burnish inside. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and do the same thing here. Just remove the backings if they want to come off. And then just bring it in. Make sure it's nice and square. Just turn it over, give it a good burnish down. Make sure you're getting all the way nice in there. And then this final one here, just remove those backings. And then just inside there, line it up and press down, just like so. Alright, so I've gone ahead and covered the inside back of my book, and this piece of our pattern paper measures 6 1/4 by 7 3/4, so it's going to cover the back inside cover here. And then I've done as well the inside of the box. I've done the front and the back, and those measure 3 3/4 by 6. And then as you can see, if you look inside here, you can still see those raw edges on both sides. So what I've done for that is these two pieces measure, the black cardstock measures the same as our sides here. So it measures 4 by 1 3/4. So they both measure 4 by 1 3/4, and then the pattern paper measures 3 3/4 by 1 1/2. And they're just gonna slide in here, and they're gonna cover those insides that we don't love very much, right? So it's gonna be all nice and neat in there. So we can just go ahead and get some glue on the back. Alright, so now we can just glue the other one in as well, just add your glue all over the back, and then just slide it right down in there. And that's going to perfectly finish up the inside of our box there. And the bottom I'm going to do later. Alright, so now we've got our box inside nicely, neatly finished. And now we're going to attach it into the inside of our book here. So we're just going to go ahead and add our glue all the way to the edges, all the way around. And you're going to want to use a nice strong glue for this. Alright. And I'm going to place it almost all the way to the bottom, pretty much even with my pattern paper. Just like so. It looks kind of good where I want it. I'm going to close my book and make sure it's not interfering on either side. Alright, and then I can go ahead and go in with my bone folder and just burnish the back of that so that I know it's going down the way it should. Alright, it's nicely burnished down. Alright, so now we've got our little box inside of our book that's going to hold our journal. Okay, so let's work on finishing up our cover here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to attach this piece here that is going to actually magnetically keep our album closed. So what I've done here already, and we're going to repeat everything on this side, I used the red cardstock and I matted my 2 panels on the front, and these measure 7 3/4 by 2 3/4, I believe. Let me just double check. No, by 3. So these measure 7 3/4 by 3, the red pieces. And then the pattern paper pieces measure 7.5 by 2 3/4. Okay, so they're gonna go there. But first, before we can attach this piece, we have to attach this piece so that the magnets can be underneath and that we can cover them up. Alright, so what we're gonna do is I've already attached some score tape to this side. So here's my little panel, and this is one of the die cuts from the die cut package. And what I've done is I've just matted it. I've just put it on some red cardstock, and then I just fussy cut around it and left like a 1/16 of an inch border all the way around. And this is going to be our little closure piece here. And then I've already attached some score tape over here on this side because I'm actually going to offset it a little bit. I want it to go more to this side than this side. So I'm probably going to put it so it's about 1 1/4 inches on this side and then the rest on this side. So we can just go ahead now and remove the backing here from these pieces and just make sure it's nice and straight when you're placing it down. And I'm kind of just keeping this side lifted as I'm placing it down. And I'm kind of centering it between these 2 metal embellishments that we've put on. So once you have where you want it, just go ahead and place it down and give that a good press down. Alright, I'm just going to make sure that's straight, and it is. Alright, so now what we need to do is we're going to open this now, and we're going to go ahead and attach some magnets. And I'm actually going to attach, I think, 3 sets of magnets. Because if I had the bigger ones, I would just do 2, but I only have the smaller magnets, so I'm gonna use 3. So I've just put a piece of score tape there, and I've got my little magnets here, and I'm gonna do 3 sets. I might even do 4 depending on how the three hold. Alright, so I'm just placing them kind of on a line there, just like so. And then I'm going to get another piece of score tape and just place it upside down on this. Just place it upside down. If I can get it to stick for me. Just like that. And then get 3 more magnets and just let them catch. Alright, and now we're going to close the book, and very important step, make sure it closes nice and flat. You could even press it in a bit if you'd like to. Alright, I'm just going to straighten that out and then try to press those on there. Alright, so I've gone ahead and covered up the magnets on both sides, and then I attached the piece of pattern paper, and then I also attached the little brass corners down here. I'm going to show you how to do one up here. So the first thing you need to do is just grab your little corner, and I'm attaching them so that it's framing, so that the red is showing around. So I just put them right where I want them, and then I'm going to get my pokey tool, and I'm just going to poke through there all the way through. Give it a good wiggle. And then I've got my little brads here, and they're just kind of brass colored as well. And I'm just going to stick it through the hole I just poked. Alright, and then we're going to do the same thing with this hole down here. Just work it through until you feel that on the other side. And then just go ahead and put your brad through. Alright, and then we're going to open it up and just open those, the back of our brads up. And then I've just got a little hammer here, just a little hammer, and then I just like to, sorry about the loudness, I just like to pound those down a bit just to make sure my little brass corner is really nice and secure. Alright, and then that is the cover of our album finished. For now, I might add a few more things here and there. Alright, so now let's finish this inside piece here. I've already finished this side over here, so we're going to finish this one, and it's going to be identical. So you need one piece of black cardstock that measures 4 by 6, and on the 4-inch side you're going to score it 1/2 inch on both sides, and then you're going to need one that measures 4 by 4, and then you're going to score 1/2 inch on both sides. And I've already done the envelope punch board on this one, but I'm going to show you how to do it on this one. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to line up your 1/2 inch. So we're going to come in from this, where our 1/2 inch score line ends, we're going to come in from there 1 1/4 inches. So you're just going to line up that line with 1 1/4 inches, okay? So we're just going to line it up and punch. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Line it up and punch. So then you'll have that. And then for the pattern paper, you're going to need a piece that measures 2 3/4 by 3. It doesn't really matter the length because we only need to cover 2 inches. But we're going to punch this one. We're going to line it up at the 1. So the last line you see before this blue button starts. Line it up at 1, flip it over, and line it up at 1 again. So you're going to have that same shape. So now you're going to need something you can cut on, a metal ruler, and a cutting blade, cutting knife. So you're just going to line up the metal ruler with that edge there that came when we punched it. And we're going to cut out that center part there, and then you're going to do the same thing with your actual pocket. Line it up and just trim that out, just like that, okay? Alright, so we've got our pieces all together here. So I'm actually going to attach this piece on here before I attach it into the book. So I'm just going to remove a bit of my backing from down here, and I'm just going to remove a little bit. I'm going to line this up on this side, and then once I have it where I want it, I'm going to press down over here, and I'm going to remove the rest of my backing, just like so. And then on the inside here, I've attached a 1/4 inch piece of score tape to the bottom of the pocket. So you're going to remove that backing, and then we're also going to remove this backing here, just like so, and then close the pocket up. Alright, and now we can go ahead and attach this into there. So you're just going to need a little bit of glue all over that there. And then we're just going to slide it back here. We'll just adjust it, make sure it's how we want it. Alright, so now this whole piece is going to get attached into our book right there. Alright, so again, I'm just going to remove a bit of the backing on this side here and bend it out so I can see the tape. And I'm going to place it right where I want it, making sure not to go too close to this score line over here. Alright, and that's about where I want it. So now I can press down here, remove the rest of that backing, and I will open it up. Remove this backing. And this backing. And then bring it down. Make sure there's no tape poking out. And then just attach it down. Just like so. And now we're going to put this piece right inside there, just like that. So again, just put your glue on. This piece measures 2 3/4 by 4. And then just slide it right in there. Alright, so that completes our book. So next we are going to work on the journal.